NVIDIA is melting, man. What's going on? Why is it black? There we go. Very nice. Alrighty. Overnight low set. Overnight high needs to adjust. Overnight low is not really. Let me get rid of this white line. The overnight low is ever changing. It's currently just continuing to be the pre-market low. Same deal as yesterday. If we could get that bounce, although it's heavier. Oh, excuse me. We're pushing into a key level at 18,687 for me. That's a breakout point. So I don't know what kind of news we got, but I think it's just selling off because of technicals. Feels technically based. The previous day low is here. So we opened, and we are opening higher than yesterday's previous day low from the open. So that same kind of price action could come in. Sorry, excuse me. Market opens here in about 5 minutes. So let's see if we do get that opening range. I do have my delta on a different screen today, so I could see it a little bit better. I'm gonna go and change my volume settings, and then change this guy.
Those shorts covering, they're taking buying power.
Here we go. All right. Let's see, make sure the trade caster's all ready. We're rocking and rolling. We're good to go. All right. Good morning, Charlie. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Give me 2 seconds and I'll be right back. All right. Back and ready to go. Let's do this. I'm going hoodie season because it's cool in my office. We got a donut, but I'm waiting for my coffee to be here and drink it. Get ready to go. Alrighty. A little tired. I stayed up a little later last night than I would have liked to. Got home from work late, hopped on the computer, was researching the charts, executing some trades. You can see I'm up big old $88 to start this day. We're gonna open up on this low here. 3 minutes. My plan is to look for that opening range bounce like I did yesterday and didn't catch it. Today we are, like I said, opening right. We're on top of a key level of 18,687.50. That's what this level is here. That's a very important level. I would like to enter this, but I want to see what happens on the open. So I'm going to give it 3 minutes. Let the market dance around a bit. See what happens. We're going to see if we can grab ourselves that rotation up.
and we do have a little bit of a baby gap here that we're looking to fill. Baby Gap, of course, has great deals right now on t-shirts for toddlers. So if we do get to the downside, filling this baby gap, chance of finding bids down there. And
Rip's talking truth out there.
so that's what I'm going to be looking out for today.
I will see what happens on this open. Like he was talking about the Nvidia 939.11 was yesterday's break at support, and then we ran right into. Oh man, I'm sorry about the yawns. Whew, killing me. Stayed up a little, like I said, stayed up a little later than anticipated. A little bit groggy, a little bit slow, a little bit yawning. Tiredness is kind of creeping in, but we're gonna see if we can execute. See if it gets us going. Once I get my caffeine in me, my day trading coffee co. A short squeeze espresso and a little bit of Scalper's Delight dark roast in me. My day will commence a bit better. My routine today hasn't been top of the line, so we are gonna just get it going, see what happens. I am gonna watch this delta just continue to melt off here, sitting below that upper band, that lower band of VWAP. I might just do this right off the jump. I might not even wait for that minute. I'm going to just set it and go. And I'll hit a break even button if we get it.
Order filled.
There we go. Immediate pop. It's dancing, it's dancing, it's dancing. Let's see if we can stay above this little area here. Nope. I want this quick rip. Taking that opening range bounce, even though it's not opening range bounce, there's a chance it still melts off, but I'm taking that break above 87.50 right here immediately on the open. Yesterday we missed our trade. Today we're just going to be a little more aggressive on it. And we're out. We're out. We're flat. Down 230. Going to wait. If this does pop above this opening range, we will take it. Oh, actually, we're going to pop it again. Same spot. Same location. Trying it again for that pop through that overnight low. Being aggressive here for myself. S&P is going to bounce from here potentially. Let's see. Let's see if this will go now. Breaking through the high there, the opening range high. Now we're going to get to even. See if we can get one off. I want to get one off here. Come on. All right, we're stopped at even. It is kind of a little bit heavy, a little different than the yesterday's action. There we go. There's the move that we look for. One more time at it. We're going to keep going with it. We'll get one off. I'm just going to use a market order once we get up into 700. Actually, I'll just limit sell at 701. Oh. We're just going to keep hitting it and go to break even, see what happens. I'm going to take one. Oh, that didn't fill us. 700 would have been a good fill, but one tick away there. Opening range breakout. See if it'll go this time. Going to grab it. Grab that wick. Come on, grab that wick.
Order filled.
Flat. I want to see one more flush through this overnight low, then come back and try and play that break again. Although it looks like it wants to go again this time. Pretty whippy action right now. Just waiting to see if this will go. Yesterday it just went right off the jump. Today it's going through 700. That would have filled us on that one order.
Order filled. Order
I
filled.
flatten that out because it got really tilty long. I have that. The idea was all good. I just got stopped out on the first one, and then the second one, and then the third. I tried to be tight with it, trying to be aggressive here on this long, and I just am not quite getting it to follow through right away. But that move was perfect. Right through that overnight low. If you took it and you held it, you're in good shape still. %82 long on the tilt. An 82% long tilt. 79% long. I expected a bounce to come in. We got it. And I lost money on it. So this is how we are playing lately. Didn't give that bit enough to let it breathe. Otherwise, it would have been a perfect trade there. I need that espresso delivery. Here we go.
Order filled.
Let's see if we can get down through here. That tilt was heavy long. I wanted to get it, so I just banged into something there. This is my combine. I'm getting a little aggressive on it. I'm going to take a step back and reset myself because realistically, I should be up perfectly on this trade here right now. The long through 688 to 87. I mean, I called it out, took it, stopped myself out twice, and then now I just played a silly game here with it. But realistically, it looks pretty good. Well, maybe we'll get back down to the overnight low. We'll be able to get a bounce again. Otherwise, let's see what happens. Nvidia just whipped its head down below 939, looking to see if maybe it'll sell off. Stop sell there too. Just based on the Nvidia sell-off, based on the heavy tilt, I want to see if this will go back to that overnight low, catch a piece of that, and then we'll grab, see if we can grab a long after it bounces. This is tired execution right there. I wanted to be aggressive on this. I wanted to take the opening range breakout. I took it early. The opening range was not too wide. 70 ticks, 62 ticks. We were in, and it's 87, 88. Would have been easily in the money. Took our one off and then had the runner on. But now we're down 540 because we just kind of played around with the level again and again and again. Took a couple break evens afterwards instead of just letting the trade play out. So that's just kind of me playing a scalpy game that didn't work out there. So
Order filled.
I am short. I did want it based on the tilt, based on Nvidia's selling. I wanted to try and just catch a little bit of a momentum push back into the overnight low before seeing if I can catch a long off of it. That's the idea of it. Delta is a little heavier. Let this thing pull to the downside now. Come on now, pull down. That's 700 to support. Yeah, we're gonna get stopped out, and we're gonna be at max loss already almost. Wow, good stuff, Anthony. You are doing great. Trying my best here to let these things do what they're doing, but I am obviously not in market mode this week or this month, I should say. Called that overnight low long, decided to take it, decided to tighten up like really quick, and then we just got stopped out. And then just now we took this short and got stopped out on it. Just feeling everything getting heavy. Go with that, sell it through there. Could only risk $100 because we'll be max lost out. I gotta go to break even kind of quick. Buy myself another trade on it. If I wanted to trade the way I'm trading currently, I needed to be quicker. I needed to be more focused. I needed to be able to get out of the half of that position at 200. Get out and make good decisions quickly. Not quite doing that today. I did say that the short was coming in and I wanted it there, and now we're out for a quick day. Thank you for the water, buddy. This is crazy. Crazy price action there. Looks like it wants to flush, right? Pretty heavy. It's a battle right here on this wick. Probably wicks us out and then just absolutely melts off here. S&P's is bouncing, so maybe the bounce comes in, but Nvidia is still trying to hold below, and we're out. So we max lost twice, back-to-back days. Today we did it really quick because I was just being stupid. That's the quick little catch your move, get what you wanted to get out of it, and then not be able to trade it because you're doing silly things. All right. I did also grab myself a trade of 8, 250K account through Apex last night. So we'll trade this. All right. Let's see what we can pull off here. Risk to the low of the day. If you do break this, all right, let's see. I'll get in with two contracts on this. This is a $250K combine here with Apex. So it has quite a big drawdown. So I could kind of let some of these trades move around a bit, see if they actually are going to play out the way I think that they're going to play out. 687 is my key level. So I'm going to be watching that 687 key level, which is also technically, it's not really. I mean, the overnight low came in pretty much on open. I took that long there. I thought it was a great idea to take this long right through here. Got whipped out, tried it 3 times, stopped myself out at break even, and then I decided to just went on full on just hammer mode, and you can see what happened there, down 1,000. Being a little too aggressive. Well, that's not the case. Everything that I'm doing is the right idea. However, it's the execution is not coming into play for last month. So looking at these levels, the 687 level, coming back into it, you got a heavier delta though coming into here. So if it does break down, I would expect to creep into this area here. That previous day low isn't out of the realm of possibility, but there is a big level of support from 18,675 down to 18,665. This isn't a terrible bounce location, but I would like to see maybe like one more touch of it, try to break through the low, give a sweep or something like that, then rotate back higher. We have no play on it in this account, but we'll flip to the other account and execute over there. The opening range high is 694, which is right here. So you get a sweep of this, pop back up above that, potentially look to maybe make a new low here. NVIDIA is selling. NVIDIA is trying to break low of the day already. NVIDIA does have earnings tomorrow. %51 short on the tilt. Over 64.75. Down through that 82. Do we try along through 87 again? Over 94, over that opening range high. I'll take a long. Risking to the low.
Stop filled.
So we bent down through the overnight low. We are long in this on trade of 8. Let's see how it looks on the stream. I mean, it's all right. I'll add through here because this is, like I said, it's a 250K account. The profit target, I think, is 13,000 or 50. I don't even know. Profit goal is 15,000. So we have a long ways to go. We made 1,000 last night. We're going to see if we can get a bounce through from this overnight low through this opening range low, or opening range high. And we can see if we can rotate back up through and into VWAP and then pass VWAP up into those overnight highs. Maybe clean out some of that inventory. And then you see if we accept back in the range that we created yesterday and overnight. I have my delta here flattening out, but it also is trying to make new lows. Well, price is trying to wick above the previous day high at 87. It is holding it, so let's see if that'll help us out or not. The delta, like I said, is kind of a little bit heavier than I would like it to be. It's kind of not giving us any sort of bounce, so that could give an indication that a sell will come in through here, through this low. So I will put my stop just below low of the day right here, right now. We'll see, and then if we can add, we will above this trend line crack. And this is a pivot point up there. Getting up, if we get over 700, I would hope to see some sort of price action push to the high side here. I would like to get through that 711 level. Puts us into a low volume area, which could, like I said, lead us into those higher ends of the range. Not like super fast, but a lot quicker than just lingering around here at the bottom. A few minutes. I would like to see it bounce, but we are kind of lingering here at the bottom. Took a couple quick shorts. I took a couple quick longs off this overnight low, and I just did not let my trade work at all. I moved it to break even twice, and then obviously you can see it worked out. You know, I took the trade on the idea of it, didn't let it play out the first time. All I had to do is let it go. Got my coffee. That's all that matters. There we go. There's a little bit of a pop over 700. Let's see if we can get that to continue on to the upside. See if we get the add above that 711 level, the break of this trend line crack to push us up into here. And then we'll start to kind of trail out position piece by piece. Like I said, this is a larger account. It kind of lets me have a little bit of breathability. It's a $6,500 drawdown on this. It's a 250K account. It was $20. I said, why not? Let's try it, especially since I'm in combine mode right now. I need to try and start passing some of these again, get myself back into the funded realm. I have my XFA drawn down to basically untradeable at the moment. It's still there, still active, but it's just at the point where it's not really tradable. So we are back into combine mode, grab combines, grab some more funding, see how much we can get. Try and trade it smart, but also be aggressive with it, just because can't sit here all the time trading and not making any money, because we do know that we can do it. The 250 combine is going to be a big challenge, and we're going to try our best to let our trades work, let our trades play out some, and see what we can get going. All right, so here's the ad about to get triggered. There's the ad about to get filled. There we go. We just added. We're still risking only about 500, but I'm going to actually go right to break even on this. So we're not going to really risk anything. It's a free trade. It's just see how much we can get out of it, right? I'm going to sell 2 at that pivot, 24. We're up. We're pushing up into that area. I think we can squeeze a bit through here. Looks pretty good. Delta looks pretty good. We are pushing up into that area right at VWAP. So that's a cautionary area, but I would be mindful of it. But I think we can get through VWAP potentially. Let's see if the 20 level gets hit. I'm going to take my trailing right into that break-even area. Just because we're at VWAP, I think we could run into some rejection here. But if we do get filled up on 2 of these contracts over that VWAP, then we'll take this and manage that position accordingly. Still up there, right into that VWAP area. Still pushing, still pushing. Looks like it wants to fill us at that 2025. Get us filled, fill us up on that 2 contracts there. I'm going to trail it up even tighter because it seems like it doesn't want to get it. So this is the kind of trade that I wanted to take before, but I didn't end up letting it trail out. So we are in it this time. A really nice move, clean. Nothing that told me otherwise that this was going to not happen. So we played the strategy well on this set of trades here. Up about 1,000 on it. We want to see if this will get triggered here. That 2025. Just give us one of the fills so we can get that one off. It's 1 tick away. Sitting up over 1,000. Come on. Fill me up. Give me that fill. I'm going to secure this a little bit better with one of the 2.
Stop filled.
So we took 2 off there. Tilt is very long. That's why I went with taking 2 off at that point, leaving that other one a little bit lower. Let it see if it'll hold up. If not, if it doesn't hold up, we'll still secure a pretty decent piece of it. Let's see if VWAP breaks. 81% long on the tilt. That's crazy. Yeah, it looks like it wants to probably fade this area. I am going to still let it go based on it. Yeah, I mean, I love that area. That was a perfect trade to take. I was talking about it before. I didn't give this combine any chance today. I pretty much just rolled out of bed and just decided I was going to trade it. And, you know, the idea was correct, right? I took that first little long through here 3 times and stopped out. And then break even when I should have been easily just never stopped out one time. So good on you for catching it. Like I said, my executions have been chit lately. So we're going to see if this will continue through upside. All right, we're flat on this account here. Currently sitting up 2,300 on the 250K account. Last night I executed. I was up 1,000. This trade here is just over 1,000. We just secured as much as we could with that tilt being so heavy long. I think I wanted to make sure that I secured some of it right into VWAP. That's the trade. That's the fade. A higher low here through a key overnight level. We had our delta pushing to back to the high side finally after we had that flattening out. So we pushed up. So we got that nice little move. And we're working this account better than we did the other account. That's for sure. So at least we're still able to execute on this. We're still trying to work our way to some bigger funding. That was a retest of this break here of this trend line. And I do feel like it is a bit bullish, but I'm going to be cautious because NVIDIA is still holding below 939. So just be cautious. Could this be a heavier short now that a failed breakout happened? Or if it's a real breakout, you know, we're looking to be aggressive on this 250K account. So you might see some heavier entries, you might see some bigger swings. %82 long still. I'm going to refresh this just to see if that's correct. We are locked out, but I like to use this chart. NVIDIA getting heavy. I will take a failed break of this. Quick shot at a short. Through the 700 level. See if 700 will fail. Delta's going downside. If this is going to bounce from here, then that's a good sign for the bullishness. But if it does fail 700, there's a chance that we do rotate back down to the lows and through the lows. Being a little bit aggressive on this. This is just based on NVIDIA, based on the Delta, based on Top Steps 80% long. We're at VWAP. There's a lot of reasons why, but the S&Ps do have some long behaviors here. All right, so we got a higher low in Delta, higher low in price, pushing into VWAP here. Oh, this, I don't know what this is. Remind me later. Okay. Trying to figure out this. Hold on. I don't know what's going on with this. There we go. So there's that push upside from that bounce. Nice little push. If you would have took this long, this opening range breakout, you were able to catch decent moves here. I took it early and stop myself out right here, and then look at that run. So, you know, we are correct again with our analysis, correct with everything, and then wrong with our execution. So something's disconnected. I'm uncorrelated in my actions currently. Obviously, the 250K account's working out nicely because maybe I'm letting it breathe a bit better or something. But that's just kind of how it works. Super heavy long into liquidity area. I'm going to look to see if this short will play out. NVIDIA is still holding below 939.11. I do like this bounce. We are sort of in a consolidation zone from, you know, last week. So potentially at 713 to 715 area. This area right here is an area of interest up into 739. 739 is up here. That's an area of major support. That was the breakdown level from this morning at 7 a.m. %83 long on the tilt, 65 on the S&Ps. To fade the tilt is tempting, but you got a higher low, significantly higher low. If you get like a little wick off top to 20, then maybe the flush through 700 comes in. Holding above VWAP. NVIDIA is still low, 939.11. We do have earnings in NVIDIA tomorrow. We'll see if there's anything that comes of that. There's a push through that high there at 20. That was our target before. Right at this area here, very interesting level of resistance on the overhead here. I do think now that we've accepted into this purple zone, 730 does have a nice little ring, 730 to 739, I think, up into this area. The top end of this purple zone does feel right. 87% tilt is crazy long. I think that does give a little bit of caution.
There's a lot of angry folks who are shorting this right now. I'm seeing a lot of very heavy offers that are being placed right now. A lot of non-believers for this market to run. So it's definitely a little bit concerning. But as I said, the more that we start to push it,
930, 939, still really heavy tilt. You can see 87% tilty. I'd say up into 30, 39. That's a really interesting area for me. This is a pivot point location. 20s. I'm going to get rid of that. We're going to wait and see. We are up on this account, 2,314. And we're down 1,000 on the other account, on the other combine. So we are working it on this one while we see that the executions are working. It's not a bad first day in this combine here. Sorry, I'm getting pictures of stuff. I would like to see this break. That would be a nice little indication that we get short. Still heavy, heavy long. I think the break, the VWAP is there. NVIDIA is getting heavier again. I think if we can crack through this here, then we'll get too short. Gonna allow it to breathe a little bit. See if we can get this thing to rotate down to the 700 area. Like I said, I got to make 15 grand in this account. So let's see how long it takes us to be a little bit aggressive. A couple contracts here, throwing some ads there, letting trades breathe a bit. See if we can prove concept on this 250K account with some of these moves here. 80% long, still on the tilt. People are going to start to try and sell through here. NVIDIA getting a bit heavier, trying to push into lows. I want to see if this will get through and down into this area here. That 700 would be nice to be our first area of interest. Then if we could break through 700, possibly into the lows of the day. That's the trade idea right now. I want to see if I could crack 705 as a high volume node. There's the crack of 705. That's nice, a little push. So we are doing pretty well on this. We may try to do some ads through 700, but I'm going to wait and see how price action acts a bit here. This kind of relieves some of that long pressure, though. So there's a code. Any of the codes work. Oh, this is frozen now. Great. I use JDun's code, who's in the lobby. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. He has a code. I can put it in here. Give me a second. Let me find it. This is his JDun. His code is FGONKVUV. FGONKVUV. That should work. I think it's only till today, or I'm not quite certain. Had a nice little push there, but if this gets back up into there, then we're gonna look to probably get out of this, just because I think that probably relieve some of that long pressure. It didn't quite. I mean, 83% still heavy long on the tilt. Nvidia still holding lows. I'm still convinced that this does want to get a little heavier. Delta on lows while price is on highs. Another indication why that's a slight divergence there, right? You can see Delta making lower highs, price making higher lows. Tilt is heavier long. We're into a VWAP area, into a supply zone. Russell is pumping upside, so looking to make new highs on the day. And so is the S&P, so that could also get us to push upside. But I am still going to stick with this short that we're in right now and see what happens with it. If we can crack through here, if the delta gets heavier, then we can see this to rotate down. But if it cracks above 21, 21's that overhead support there, I would be mindful of that as well. The 21 level being interesting. Is that tilt still heavy long? 83% still tilty long side for me. I like it to push down one more time. Maybe see if we can get it to 700. If it does break this wick, then there's a chance that it does get heavy. But if this is just a liquidity grab push, then we're going to be mindful of that as well. We're just going to bang out. We're only going to be risking a piece of this trade that we took already. Nvidia's on the lows at 935.80. If it cracks through that low, maybe we get a help to the downside a bit. Come on down. S&P. I want to get down through VWAP. If we can crack this trend line here, possibly we can go see what our position looks like. There's the push down. Let's see if it'll continue or if it's going to break. We're now past even. I think if we break this high again, we squeeze. So I don't want to be involved and stopped out below that. So I'm only going to risk about 500 on this trade to see if I can make it to the low area down into this range here. If we crack this wick, I want to see if we can flush 700. I want to see Delta help us out, though. Delta's kind of just still holding up on this little wedge pattern here. I want to see the crack and both of these things start to move in our direction. S&P is also starting to push downside a little. Russell kind of was at the highs. NVIDIA, 935.53, wicked through the low and just didn't flush. So we're not really getting heavy selling in NVIDIA currently. It's just kind of lingering at the lows. Still have a good build up here where the crack of this trend line could rotate us down. We did get this rotation the first time. It was nice, but didn't get the follow through on it. I want to see if the secondary push down through it will give us follow through. We're being a little bit patient on this one, trying to build ourselves back into a nice, good rhythm here. I want to see this thing go and get heavy and really get very heavy fast. I want to start to see some sellers start to pour in. If they don't, then the long is probably in from here, and for the rest of the day you just get a rally up into that 39 and maybe even into that 57s. But I wanted this to come into this 75 to 64 range down into here, this 75 to 65, and then you also have another like pivot point type area down there. What's up, AK? I started my day off with some crappy choppy behavior on my part. Probably shouldn't trade tired the way I did, but hey, we're back into it. And this account we're rocking and rolling with. We're rolling on a couple pretty good trades, so not so bad. How you doing, AK? There's the push. Let's see if the push through 705 comes in now. This time should be the actual seller to come in. NVIDIA broke through the lows, so if we can get continuation on NVIDIA, then the NQ definitely follows through. I want to see what happens at 700, though. If 700 doesn't give up, if it bounces from there, I'm probably going to be at even. So I want to let this thing flush through that low. I want to see 700 be the break point. Yeah, I got home late from work, decided that I'm going to come on the charts and trade. I made some decent trades overnight, started playing nice, and then I woke up this morning and decided to give that all back on the other account.
filled.
You're in the groove, baby. You're in the groove always. You know, when I get a chance, I might load up into a Lightspeed account, like I start rocking with you guys as well. I love my futures, and I'll continue to stick to the futures with the props and everything like that. But to have another trading avenue, I just want to have as many avenues as possible to be able to make some money, because I can see these levels on these accounts, on these equities, starting to come clearer and clearer. Got to get some cash, throw it into that Lightspeed account. If you want to get into a Lightspeed, I got a partnership now with Day Trading Coffee Co. Use code COFFEE in the link in the bio, and or in the alerts, I should say, and we'll get you the best fees that they can offer. You only need $5K to open the account. Use code COFFEE, but I am definitely going to start utilizing that as well in the near future. I do like this short still. I stopped myself at even, but you can see all this liquidity getting grabbed here. So I wouldn't be surprised if the pop comes in as well. So this is like a good reason to be flat. I mean, we're sitting right now up 2,300 on this account. Profit target on this combine for the 250K account is $15,000. So to start the first day up, 2,300, not too shabby. Going to start working this day to day, work ourselves into trying to get this funded and have this as our largest account, and then rock the Top Step accounts as 50K accounts. So let's see what we can do with those. Let's see. Looks like it wants to get above this again. Like I said, June 7th, June 13th, 23rd. It's 2 days from now, so we'll have two more. It's a hold here. Consolidation. You had a lower high. I mean, higher low here, right? Through our key level on the bottom. Let's go on to this because we have our levels. Overnight low got flushed. I called this long here through this overnight low. Decided that I wasn't going to take it properly. I didn't set my stop below here. Got stopped out. Entered again, break even. Entered again, break even on it. And what do you know? It ran right up through our target. So you be patient. Let your stops do their work and trail appropriately. Don't FOMO in and out, and you'll be just fine. Got a retest of it. Took that long there. And we scaled out of that. And then we took that short just now, and we're even on that. So we took the long here. You can see that execution. We had two contracts on. I added a second through here. Got a little bit of slippage, but it was okay. We took that first contract off and then basically break even. So I was one tick away from getting filled on this contract there. Didn't get filled on the one off, so I took the second off, which is fine. It worked out. And we're now still grinding high side. Patience. Absolutely. Pretty much just acting a fool since I drew down that funded account. We took our payout on it. Then we decided to just use the month of May as a learning experience of seeing the market absolutely perfectly and then giving it back. And then that's kind of where we ended up. I did just go ahead and grab myself another Top Step combine, so we'll see what we can do on this one. Not that one. That looks like the one. All right, so we are still heavy on the tilt. Look, rocking and rolling up here on the high side. You got a pretty large size getting filled on the time and sales. 44 lots, 44 times 2, probably a 200 plus buyer here getting filled. That's something to note. Be mindful of that time and sales, see what's going on there. Heavy tilt. Could look to see if this will short through this level again. See if it'll go this time. We'll take one contract, sell it here. Risks to the high of that consolidation. See if we can get pushed through that low. If you can get through 700, then maybe you do get the flush into that overnight low. This is based on a heavy long tilt. And you see Delta trying to push through that low again while price tried to make new highs. Didn't quite follow through. You did start to see aggressive buyers stepping right into that resistance level there at 21. So we have the aggressive buyers stepping in at 21 and then getting rejected. You got the tilt heavy long. You got VWAP right here. Everything kind of lining up for this to potentially just melt off into the lows. I would like to see 700. Nvidia pushing up a little bit. That's the only concerning part about this idea. Also sitting on top of VWAP. If we do get below this level, I'll add one through the low, see if I can get it down into that overnight low. If it stops us out over the top, I'm cool with it. I kind of just accepted that risk on this one just to see if I can get a cheap trade on it based on just a counter mob move, right? That heavy long means the mob that retail is heavy long on that side on the top step accounts, and a lot of them fail these accounts. So we are watching that level to just kind of crack and give up. We took it short once, took it even, took it short. Looking to take it short again here, trying to pull it back to that overnight low. This is where I would like longs to get involved, but at the same time, everybody's kind of been sitting here bidding this up, bidding this up, bidding this up. You saw that larger size get filled and then never went anywhere. So that's another reason why I see a little heaviness coming into this play. Just risking it to the high end of these wicks. If these wicks get filled, I think they just pop this up pretty much to the top end of that purple zone and then beyond up to 39, like I said. And then 18,757 high side probably would be an interesting level to be mindful of. I'm going to add to it if it gets through that low, because I think if it does get through that low, it's going to get through low fast, a little bit heavier. So I'll add a second onto it. This is a combine. It's a new combine that I just picked up. I want to see if I could get aggressive on it, get heavy on it, take one off down here possibly at the low, and then see if the rest of it will follow through to a $1,500 daily profit target on these combines. Something like that. Actually, probably would like to get that first one off there. This is very slow for a push above VWAP. Nvidia is creeping back up into 939.11. Our key line in the sand there. So if it does creep up and continue to push, then this probably goes here to the high side. So this probably will pop and get us stopped out based on Nvidia getting some buyers stepping in. 21 is that key level that I have here, right? 2150. If we hold above 2150, then you probably rotate up through this high anyway. So we're going to get stopped out on that. And then potentially watch it flush if it does. You do have Delta now trying to make new highs, so you have aggressive buyers stepping in confluence with the price action. I'm still leaving my stop alone, seeing if it'll play. However, I think that with this Delta kind of pushing up, you may get the follow through to the high side. But I do still have my short here, still have it where that may be a grab of liquidity and then a rotate down. But otherwise, we're going to see what happens with this, and we're just going to let it play. 20 levels love to fail or hold, so we're at that 20 level. We'll see if that 20 level will continue to hold us up or break. NVIDIA ticked up onto that 939 level and is sitting below it, 938.35. If NVIDIA can catch any sort of selling, then this market will help us out. Waiting. A slow market. It's not something I like to short, to be honest. So I might just hammer out with a smaller loser, but it is just not following through on those buys. And a heavy 76% long is interesting to me. We're probably gonna creep up here. NVIDIA just broke through that 939, so here's the break of the high. I would assume coming into this, at least to stop us out. If it's just gonna be a stop run, then it is what it is. We're going to get out, and then we're just going to look for something else to trade. But there's that break of NVIDIA. You get that wick test there. We're going to flatten these orders out. There's the crack of 25. Alrighty. Yeah, we're just... our idea here on the morning, this long idea here was nice. This long idea here was good. Same on the, I let them breathe out nicely on this account here. That's why we're up better on this account than we are on the Top Step combines. But we'll see what happens with the rest of the day here. It's still quite early. It's only about an hour into the trading session here at 9:25 a.m. here Central Time. Just watching these play out, see what happens with these moves. The tilt getting so heavy long really concerns me for these longs to not be following through. NVIDIA catching that bid kind of cancels out whatever these tilt meters say, and my delta here also giving you a little bit of a wick off high. I'm going to get rid of these levels because they're not really pertinent at the moment. We have expanding VWAP bands, bigger volume, aggressive selling behavior. We got to ride that low. That was another confluence to my idea for the long in this morning, right? So, like I said, I executed it. I loved it. It was great. I should have had no real reason to be stopped out on that, and I got stopped out on it because I'm just trading a little tight this month. But realistically, that move played out absolutely perfectly. The break of the opening range, you could have secured it. If you took more than one contract, you could have secured that one easily at that end there for your first contract off. If you decided to take one off and leave one at break even, then you're a-okay. I was even in lower. I had really great cost average. Just realistically did not execute good at all. But you could see, then we called out this bounce here. We took the long from there to there. We could see it on the one we actually took it on. We took that long from here to here, added a second, ended up stopping out for both at even there, but we made $7.10 and $10, so $7.20 on that move there. And then we took a break-even trade right here for $30. So overall, including our overnight trade, up 2,300 on that combine there. We're going to see if we can get a little flush of this 25 level here. I will take two short through the 23, and I'll do it over here on Top Step X as well. Well, 21. I'm front running it there. NVIDIA did break and hold above 939, pushing up through 941. If NVIDIA cracks high of the day at 943, this market probably just launches. I would be mindful of that. I'm going to leave that alone for a minute. I think 39s is going to be a very important level. 39s, the bottom end of 30, 31 to 39. 3350 could be a nice short location as well. But like I said, with NVIDIA being strong, earnings tomorrow, will it continue to grind up or is it going to hold down on these lows? We will wait and see what happens with that. I want to see maybe the wick of this top end of this purple zone. If we can get up into the high end of this purple zone, maybe look to short it down back to VWAP and then see if we can get through VWAP to the other end of it. That was a really nice push to the high side there. Still heavy long on the tilt. Delta still stepping to the high side, so price moving congruent with Delta. You got a little wick there. The value area high is 27. You can see that nice push to the high side there. I think now that we're in this low volume node here, this low volume lull here, a push up to 45 isn't out of the realm of possibility. And there's a ton of volume here at 50 to 55. And then you got the upper band of VWAP there. If you do reach into that upper band of VWAP, into that 55 area, if it creeps down into there, you potentially could look for that to be your short zone, right? That 55 to 49, 48. Obviously, this high volume node here at 45 is the base of the breakdown from 7 o'clock this morning, right? So that's an interesting zone to be mindful of. 45 to 50, and then up into that 50 is a higher volume area where price has been executed. So price likes to get to where it's been, right? Where there's been executions, where there's been liquidity. So that's really what we're looking at there. NVIDIA looking to try and crack through the high. Still kind of holding that level. 941 and three quarters, 80s. I think NVIDIA could probably easily clear through the high of the day. If it does do that, then I would think probably up into 947.59 would be an interesting area for it. If it's going to run into any resistance overhead, if it doesn't sell off from here. %78 long. You can see high volume node here, low volume up into 45. So if it gets above into here, it needs to seek another liquidity level, which is probably 745. If it holds this high volume area, then a rotation back to 30. And then if you get down into 30, you have the value area high right here that could act as support for a bounce, but also could also act as an acceptance for the range. But it looks like it's trying to catch a bid and be pushing upside for the rest of, my session, at least for now. 77% long. I'm going to put the NVIDIA just cracked the high there at 942, up into 944.60. Like I said, I think up into 947, 948. Low end of it could be 946.69 to 50s. Just watch that for NVIDIA. There's the crack, break of the high. Beautiful entry down here, double bottom here at the overnight low, rotate back higher. Clearly, it's clear that that's what it looked like. An easy, cheap long. You could have held that. Now from overnight low to overnight high is the goal for the full rotation. And that's what we look for on a day-to-day basis. Like I said, I called out this long here, up into VWAP, pretty spot on there at VWAP. Got your rejection, and then you're rotating now through VWAP to search for that higher end liquidity, which is up here in that either overnight high area or even beyond, depending. But like I said, 45 is the next volume node, which we're just about to touch, or we just did touch. Or maybe we're just shy of 45 here. Yeah. So 45 is going to get tagged right here, potentially. And if 45 gets tagged, then watch for the full push and see if there's going to be acceptance into this liquidity zone here, or if it's going to be another rejection on that overnight level. You do have this, overhead here. We did break that just now, right? So you broke through this little area here. Trend line, idea where it would have maybe rejected. So up into 45, up beyond 45, watch the overnight highs. Then you watch for the other end of it. See if you get something similar to this up here at that overnight high. I did mention that the upper band of VWAP is probably going to be around that 60, 1755 to 1760 area right there. That 45 level is really important to me. You can see this straight up type move. High volume node, pop right through it. Low volume into a high volume node at 51 would be a nice little area to be interested in. 74% long on the tilt. The tilt's been right today as far as directional move, so it kind of could get you run over like it did. Just based on that heavy tilt, that was what I was interested in. These S&P levels are pretty important where we're at right now, but we could rotate into that yellow and then beyond. There's the crack of that yellow area. I think S&P is now squeezing up. Going to give that NQ squeezing up. Overnight high, I want to see this. See if it'll hold or crack. There's the 55. Like I said, the high volume node of 55. Up into the upper band of VWAP is curling upside now. We could run along it for a minute or two or 30 or hours, but we just got to watch it. Oh, that's a good time for fire drill. Top Step. If you are in Top Step at all, they're throwing a fire drill on right now. So I would go over to their stream and click on their link. They'll get I don't know. It's a random drawing 500 email, 500 invites. It's not a free reset, so don't worry about it. I want to see this overnight high tagged. I want to see it cleaned up. I want to see some delta divergence up here. Look to see if we can get some sort of short idea up in that area. Get a delta divergence. See what happens. Give me some of this to pull back a bit. I like the levels. So if I'm going to play my levels, I'm going to wait till it hits off on that overnight high and see if I can get through it, come back down and fade it. And that's my normal play there. So 63.25. I'm going to guess that that's where upper band of VWAP is. It is right now currently at that level. So if we could whip up into that area, that'd be really nice. If it's just going to pull back here, and then not get us an entry, then that's okay. But I think we do get an opportunity here to get up over that overnight high. That's really what I want to see. 18,757, spot on though. 757 right there. You can see my levels. I drew up here. That wick right up into that 18,757. This is seemingly the very important liquidity zone, right? You can tell right up into it, failure. If we could fail through 739 right here, then you could continue to sell through and into right down here. So levels, this is where I wanted my buy. We got the buy. I wanted to take it to 739, tagged it up to 757. 687, right up through it, right up through it. So, I mean, it was there to be had. You can see that is there to be had, right? Double bottom at our key level. You just got to execute. Got to be able to execute. That's what this is all about. I could talk about it till the cows come home, but if I don't execute on it, I'm not going to make money, and that's how this game works, right? So I'm showing you through the tough moments of this trading journey of where I'm like right there, where I'm taking payouts, I'm profitable, and then turn into a completely different trader just in 1 week. But still seeing levels like a hawk. Everything is working out really, really well as far as what I'm talking about. I'm trying to now execute a bit better into some of these other accounts here. Try my best to get the funding to follow the execution, start to get myself back into that zone, and we'll go and make sure we can start actually making really good profits come the end. I want to, set myself a goal for the end of the month to be back and fully funded with all the accounts that I need to do. So try not to rush it. Try not to push through it. I am going to size up. I am going to push into some of these accounts, but I will do it more selectively aggressive. I want this price to push up over 55 again. Give me a wick off at 63 and then try and short 63. Come on, baby. Push up into that 57 level again. Wick off that overnight high. Fail that level. 63.25, 63.50 would be a nice little wick. If it can only get through here, I do want to start to short it. I do want to start to short it through there. $50, yeah. If it wants to get through that level there, I will short it, but I do want to wait for it to get to the overnight high as well. So I'm hoping to not get triggered into this until we can push up into that overnight high level. Delta is pushing up, so price should follow a bit up through 55. I want to get up into that upper band of VWAP, and I want to fade that upper band, and I want to pull it back into VWAP, see if I can get a little bit of that follow through on that. Like I said, I'll leave that here. I'll add to a move if it does happen. NVIDIA kind of still creeping up into that area that I was talking about, 945.50. It's the bottom end of consolidation from yesterday. So if it does want to reject, it could reject here, which could help our downside move right now. Right into this trend line. See if it cracks. That 45 volume node, I probably should have it just below that, but hey, let's see what happens with this short. $745 even is that higher volume node. It's like drawn to that, and then we're filled short. NVIDIA creeping up. Did not flush the 45. I think through 39 you get a little bit more. Down through 39 should give you another flush. If it's going to flush, if it's not going to flush and rotate back up, then 39 should hold. That 40 level should hold. $739 acting as support. Hopefully it could flush through $739, and then we can get a little bit of sellers coming in a little heavier. Delta acting in our favor here, looking like it wants to get heavy as well. Maybe a little double top action. I think we got a little bit of confluence here. Nvidia trying to make a top at that level, but it is still strong because it is Nvidia. So at any point it can just continue to pop, which it's trying to again, and that's kind of hurting our short idea through this level. But I think we can, especially with the S&Ps holding this area as well, I think maybe the S&Ps rejecting here, pushing downside could help us out. Russell knocking its head up on 2109, 90, 2110. I want 39 to give up. If 39 can give up, then I want that flush to come in down to 21s. That'll be the first idea here, like up to 21, 25. That would be well, 2150. I'll front run it. And now I just let it see what it wants to do here. 39, like I said, 39 is the kind of key level. S&Ps just gave up its bottom there at 35. NQ is trying to hold below 39 now. There's the 39. 39 is there, evens right now and holding. 40, you see that it just grabbed that and it bounced. It sat right on 39 and bounced. I need that 39 to break. That 39 level is really a key level. So if it doesn't go, I want to be out over that high. That 39 level holding. But if it goes, I want to be involved. I'm adding one, and I want to get off at VWAP. But you can see it's kind of just grabbing that, grabbing it, holding, and then S&P just gave a little bit of a bounce. I want to see S&P flush again through that low, through 35s. Nvidia is still holding below that 945.50. That's a complete consolidation zone that I'm interested in it to kind of hold below. 946.59 is really 946.75. That area there is the top end for me to think that will hold. Let me see what Microsoft's doing. Microsoft pulling back some from 430, but not, I mean, it's still bullish, still over that key zone. Key zone at 428.80 for me. Microsoft broke through that high. If it can fail it and return back to it, that'd be nice and help our trade out here. Microsoft, do your thing. Come back down. Nvidia's popping upside. I think realistically, this is kind of just, I mean, I know I'm in profit here, but we're not getting through that 39 level. And I usually like my moves to happen fast. If you follow me for any time at all, you know that I look for fast moves. I look for timing to be kind of correct. Yes, I mean, if we get down through 39 again, I will go to break even because I feel like if we hold 39s one more time, then that could be just a nice liquidity grab to pop us to the high side one more time. So I'm just going to be cautious if it does get to 39. If we crack through this 40 and get into these wicks, that even should probably come in for me because this time around, if it breaks it, it should go. And if it doesn't, then the possible for it to squeeze is on. So I'm going to get out of this at even, and I'll look to see if it'll go afterwards. But I need to get out of this if it's not going to go here and now.
Order
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Banging out past at even because I feel like this is probably just going to start to rotate up. Something about the feel of it. You got to learn how to feel it sometimes. I think really we still need to get through this overnight high. So I want to see this overnight high get tagged before I can get into anything else. 9:50. Wait for this 10 o'clock hour to come into play. See what we got going on at 10 o'clock. I am waiting. If we can get above here into this 55 range, maybe that does give it as well. That's like a retest of the trend line break, stop out some of those shorts, and then rotate us back down some. The level at there I have above is 57.50. So 57.50 is right up in here. There's a heavier push. Looks like S&P is getting heavier. What's Microsoft doing? Pushing downside a little bit more now. NVIDIA still creeping up. Alrighty. Delta now making like a low base pattern, seeing if it wants to get heavy first or if it wants to creep back up. 39 level. I mean, like I said, I was going to add down here at 36 anyway, so I might just look to see if I can sell through that 36. Quarters kind of confirm through that. Delta a little heavier. I want to time it correctly. I want this thing to go when I want it to go and not late. Microsoft creeping downside some more. NVIDIA still up in that 946.60, 946.50 area. In that liquidity zone. I like the idea of this getting up through here into that 63. You know, we did just crack through this trend line. You got a liquidity grab up to the high side. Look to maybe fail this. Gonna manage the Top Step X account a little bit different. $739 will also be the top end of the value area. 740 is the top end of the value area high. So down to 721 isn't unrealistic. I'm going to do 2 contracts through here. Still waiting to see if this 39 level will break. Give us that idea. I want to see it up into overnight highs, but I've kind of gotten myself a little bit away from it. Obviously, you can see the drawdown on these accounts get me a little bit annoyed. Because waiting for my levels hasn't quite played out. Today it was perfect, that long, and we somehow we decided to chop ourselves up while being correct every single time. So be it. Now we're looking to just catch the next good trade here. But realistically, if this can break to the high side, overnight highs can come in. But 39, I think 39 is the level that could act as the good flush point right now. Delta is flattened out. Price is flattened out. So there's not a ton of like great great volume to take a look at. Possibly look for one more leg upside before this does sell. But if it's going to sell, I want to be involved with it now because I do think that we can get back to VWAP for buyers to start to feel like they can get some more liquidity down in that area, down to 721.50. Like I said, I think that's a really good first target. That's why I have a limit buy there. So if it breaks through 39, a heavy flush could just trigger us out, in a minute. Stop over this 52 level and see what goes from there. Well, realistically, even probably over 48, because I think if we do get through here, that you're going to get through there anyway. And why risk more of that than you have to? Nvidia's starting to curl back to the downside. S&P did break through 34. 34.25 is holding currently, but if it does break, we do have a slight tick up in Delta. Price is trying to make lower lows. So there is slightly aggressive buyer here at 40. If that 40 guy gives up, then I think this pushes through. Price is now getting heavier. Let's see what happens with it. Can we get one off down there at VWAP and then see if we can rotate down even further? That would be nice. Nvidia is selling off and then stopping immediately as I say that. So potentially look to see it rotate up and rip us out. But 39s, that was my area of interest for the either bounce or break, and I chose break, and it looks like it wants bounce, but hopefully we can get it to break this time through. $40, $41, top end of value area high. Still looking short, looks good. The delta isn't quite heavy, but I think if we can crack through this low, delta will trigger into being heavier. So if we can get through 39, like I said, could get us in and involved. There's 45. There's a pop. We're going to get stopped out on this. And we're stopped on that. This is where I'm at currently with my, let's see the difference between the trailing stops. All right, that's going to get us out. Wick into that overhead support. If it cracks that overhead support, overnight highs come into play. Then we get the actual thought process of that's where I wanted my short all along. So let's see if we can get up into that area, and we should get stopped out on this if it's going to go up into that area. So probably going to get pushed into overnight highs, like I said, and then we'll see if we can get involved in that at all at that overnight high level. Well, we're still in this one over here, so we're going to just wait and see if that breathing on the stop is worth it or if it's still just taking an unnecessary more bit of a loss here. Nvidia is pumping, so it's looking to get above. If Nvidia gets above 948, it probably squeezes even higher. 948, 947, 91 starts to squeeze Nvidia. It's going to pop us out. No harm, no foul. Worth with the risk on this.
Stop filled.
Still up 1,800 on this account here. I want this up into that overnight high before I look to short it again. So we're going to still sit here, wait for it. It's 10 o'clock. See if the 10 o'clock hour is going to give us anything on that. obviously seeing the market well. Like I said, overall, my executions haven't been of the best entries and exits currently. But the levels are there. The things I've called out for everybody have been there. I got to get back into the mindset of trading for myself and not necessarily just calling things out for stream purposes and whatnot. So I got to get back into my groove, get into the point where I'm taking one or two good trades a day. Obviously, when I'm in combine mode, I'm in trade mode. I'm trying to get funded quicker than I am with payouts and stuff like that. So just understand that when you see me trading a little bit differently, slightly different with the combines than I do on the funded accounts. Like I said, it's 10 o'clock now. We got about another hour left in the stream. Hopefully most of you are green based on some of the calls we've made today. We did call the long off the open through the overnight low. Then we called the long again on the bounce of it. I locked myself out before I even got there, so I couldn't even bother taking it. We saw this long coming in. After we shorted it, we're like, if it gets above here, it's probably going to squeeze. So potentially look for that squeeze above 25, which we did get. Now you're looking at this, potentially look to get over this overnight high. If we can get over the overnight high, I want to see a rejection of that level based on the type of day it could be. A full rotation from overnight low to overnight high kind of cleans up the mess, but then also gives that seller that was in here at 7 a.m. the same reason to sell probably right here. To me, it just gets that seller involved again if we can wick above that high and come back down through it. Where's my delta? Delta pushing higher while price is not quite following through yet. So want to see delta push. There it goes. Price is pushing, delta's pushing. I want to get up into that 63.25. Push up into 63.25. That's so the point of control actually flipped to 752. So point of control is now on the higher end. More executions have happened up here than anywhere else. I want to see even further up into that overnight high. Then we fail 57. If you fail 57, then that's when you look to see if that short will come back into play. I want delta to come creeping in. I don't know if we'll get it because it is 57 is the level that they shorted at 7 a.m. and they shorted it at 6, 7. They shorted it at 2:30. So this is a key level. If you want to give it some space, sell one. I want it to whip off even further. Sell through there. I want to whip up through the overnight high, then fail 57. See, this overnight high is right here. But there is a lot of liquidity here. There's a slight gap. No, there's no gap there. It's just blurry. Yeah. Once, twice, 3 times. Yesterday it was a key level. Today it's a key level. This morning, overnight, it's key level. So 57 and the overnight high, pretty important. Didn't get filled on it yet. I think 57 is the sell point. I'm in on the short on the trade of 8, risking to the high of the day. I'm waiting for this to get up over that overnight high and then fail it for this account here to see if I can get something to play out with this. I'm worth risking into this area here. 63. Do I think we have enough gusto to get to that previous day high? That previous day high was more whippy than anything. I don't really trust that that's the key level. Maybe 772 could get touched. I think that's a good area, 72, potentially 80. So this 72 to 80 area could be your short zone. However, I do think that the short could come in here at 57, like I said, because that's where they shorted it at 7. I think this is a good area for the short to come into play. You do have Delta creeping up. Price is not following through to the high side. With Delta, aggressive buyer here and no follow through on the price. So that's another indication, like I said yesterday, with the, I'm going to do it now. I'll do it through 57. I'll sell one and I'll let it get up over 80 before I get out and see what happens with it. I mean, obviously that'll stop me out and max losses account, but I'm going to let this one breathe a little and then see where it ends up, because I do think that that sell comes in to 739. I'm just interested in the sell here due to how hard it sold at 7. So 57 was a really key level at 7 a.m. I'll switch to this chart here so you can see it. You can see right here at 7 a.m. That's a huge seller right there. We just came back and canceled that whole thing out, but it's been a serious area of resistance. And I didn't get any news today telling me that this wants to go long through here. So potentially that 57 could be the sell point again, at least to get us down to 39. And then potentially lower. So watch to see if it'll flush through here or not. I like the short. I like it to kind of push down. Watch the bottom of it at 40. Obviously, I said 39 is that first interesting level. I like this as a longer hold, so I might just hold it, see how long I could get it to be, see what happens at 39 first. If 39 can flush, then potentially look to stop sell 1 there and then a limit order out 1 here at VWAP, right? Just to catch a little piece of that. But I feel like maybe even we get to the overnight high right now, wicket, I'm still comfortable holding this until it kind of gets into that 72 area. 72 to me does seem like a good area for it to kind of come up, grab some liquidity and melt off. But like I said, I wanted to be involved now because if I didn't want to miss that first straight down kind of movement at a key level of resistance. Worth allowing it to go a little bit into drawdown for this idea because I want to see it try and play out. Like I'm saying, I've been seeing the market really well, and this is kind of what it's been telling me. I haven't been able to execute properly, so let's give our executions a chance to do what they're going to do, because realistically it feels like this is the area that they wanted to sell earlier anyway. They wanted to get it deeper potentially down to 687. They did right into 687, which is a good buy area. I mean, we cleaned up a lot of that CPI move, but there's still some cleanup to be done down into that 660 range and 675, 665 area. So that's kind of my thought process on why this is a good location for it to sell off from here and allow it the room to kind of breathe a little and then add even as it moves in my direction because of that thought process, right? So as I mentioned, I'm willing to risk into that 72 area. I'm just seeing where this is at. This is a bigger account. I am looking to do more with it below 39. I'm a little bit more aggressive with it. I have to get to 15,000 on that to get past. So kind of don't take into account some of the size, because once I do get funded, I'm going to take it down a lot. right at the point of control here at 52. I think if we, like I said, this is the reason I'm taking this at this area. It's just a very important level from pretty much yesterday all the way through the overnight and into 7 o'clock this morning. This is the sell point from 7 o'clock this morning. So I would like to see it give me the breakdown from here, from that 39, got to our 57. We didn't quite get to the overnight high, but I think that could be that 57 just acting as that key level. So I'm going to just watch this, mind it, see if it'll get down through 39. If it gets through 39 after flushing up above 57, I think that gives you a little bit more confidence in a breakdown of the 39, at least down into 30 even. Still waiting, still seeing a flat delta here. Not a ton of follow through to the downside, but also no indication of a big aggressive buyer coming in either. So we got that. We're just waiting to see if this will kind of flush through down to the lows. I'm doing my best. There's a crack of that level, that 49. Let's see if it'll get through 49 into 45, that high volume node at 45. There's a high volume node right there at 45. Let's see if it wants to tag off on that, get through the low volume area, and then see if it'll kind of continue on down through that. I would like to see it down to 40, and then obviously I want to see it break 39. And then if it breaks 39, I think that has a little bit of extra push down to 21, 50, 22. So I'm going to leave my first, I'm going to add on at 39 because I think if we do break through, I'm adding at 36 here. But if we break through that 39, I think we can get the VWAP. And I'll take one off at VWAP and then leave the runner on. And like I said, I do believe this is still valid up into the 72s. However, with the way that this is acting, I think that the heaviness probably just comes in now. Obviously, it has come in already. It didn't give you that secondary touch yet, but it could still. The 30-minute candle is pretty steadily pushing into this area of support here at 49. I don't know if it's going to be just a pause and then a rotate back through 57, or if this 30-minute candle is going to continue to push downside to 43s. If it does get down into that 43s, it does make you believe that there's a strong seller up there at 57, and then possibly look to get it to push down through an even heavier. So we get to 57 again, and then you get a heavier push, then maybe that's where you get that actual hard sell come in. It's easy for me to say I want to I'm working now that I'm in combines, right? Back into combines from funded. I'm looking to maximize gains, work on some adding, get some stuff. So you develop maybe some habits that are a little more aggressive, something that you find that works really, really well. It's kind of how you do it in the combine world. If you've been funded before and you know how it works. If you haven't been funded, I do believe sticking with your comfortable risk management strategies. Don't worry about getting passed right away. Worry about building good habits. And then when you get back into when you do get into a funded, just continue those habits through. I think that's the better advice. When it comes to somebody like myself or other people who have been funded however many times, dozens of times, it's easy for me to pass the combine and with volume and deciding to, work on things here and there. I'm okay with hurting some of these accounts because I know I'll get myself back to fully funded once again. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. We're still just sitting here on this account. You can see the heaviness starting to get in here. You could kind of feel it like it wants to get shorter through this 45, right? That 45 was a high volume node. I'm going to continue to mention that volume node stuff, but I'm trying to make it better where I can see the delta all the time, but also giving you the opportunity to see it. Oh, library time for the Maximus. You want to say hi, Max? Oh, you got to give me the coffee? Give me the coffee, buddy. So hot. Careful. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Can I have a hug?
Say I love you, Daddy.
Wahoo! Yeah. Say hi, everybody. Say hi.
Everybody.
Say I'm going to the library to learn. Go. Boop. Oh, I got booped. Get out of here, booper. Okay. Have fun.
Bye.
Bye. I'm okay with the water for now. Thanks. Alrighty. Price is starting to tick up into that. This is the point of control here, like I said, at 52. However, Delta is still holding down lower. So the sellers are still involved. There's a slight tick up in Delta just now, trying to catch up to the price. We'll watch it. Up into 72 is my idea where this price could kind of get to. But you can see you're starting to form this little bit of a wedge, right, where price is going to start to tighten itself up. Are we early on this short? Is the short not going to come in? Is it going to be a buy location? Now, since they sold off, once, twice, three times, this is the fourth time at this location. Is this going to be a buy location or not? Are we going to just continue to sell off from here? Like I think should continue to happen based on the behaviors of the past. Past behavior does not indicate future results. Point of control, once again, Delta. I think Delta wants to work with us here. We see it kind of starting to tick up more heavier on the downside than it does on the upside. So watch the Delta. It is kind of acting similar. I mean, it's making lower lows. Not yet quite now. Like it's acting the same right now. But if we do crack through, it was holding the lows while price was trying to push up some. So that's helpful for me to see that sellers are still here, still involved. But if this Delta creeps up some more, then potentially a crack above 60 comes in. So the crack is 60, I'd say up to 72. And then a failure of that possibly leads to a deeper sell. But the longer it holds down here, the better. Obviously, we'll be staying in the green. I'm just kind of seeing what's happening over here just to make sure we're still good. I'm okay with that account kind of just doing its thing. This one is, being a little aggressive on it, selling through 57, the key level. I'm going to go real quick, Pete. This is going to do what it's going to do, so I'll be right back. And the price didn't go anywhere. Very nice. Alrighty. Delta now getting heavier, pushing downside more so than price. Let's show you what I'm talking about here. You can see Delta right there pushing onto these lows while price is trying to hold it. If Delta gives up, I would anticipate price to try and give up as well. Delta's trying to front run us a little bit here. You got a little bit of a liquidity grab there. Up over that point of control. I want to get through this volume node at 40, that 39 level. Like I said, if we can get through here, I think of rotation down to 21 isn't out of the realm of possibility, right, to VWAP. To give you that pullback, even if longs want to get involved, the draw is to VWAP, right? Longs want to get involved here. Shorts want to get involved too here. That's my thought process on that. Having a good thesis is always nice. Lingering around down in this range here. Could go to break even, but I really want to let it give to 72 for that liquidity grab over the overnight high. Nvidia trying to pop its head above 948 again. If Nvidia does that, I'm kind of a little cautious here. You can see how reactive that 57 level is. You now see Delta trying to catch up, which is, I'm cautious on this now. With the like I said, I did like it up to 72. If it does get up into there, that's 72, 66. Could short through the overnight high, that 57 level again, add a second contract through it. I just won't do it if it doesn't get up there. Flirting with that 57 number, man. This is my strategy is normally quick in, quick out, get scalped. With this funded account, with this combine, I'm looking to see if I could work some of these bigger type moves, bigger ideas that could net a better result, maybe with a longer hold time, right? I'm looking to try and I always want to be wrong fast, right? But I also want to understand the dynamics of why the price is moving the way it is. I like this up into the overnight high to clean that up. And then if it does get over the overnight high, 72 to me makes a lot of sense based on structure points. If it's going to like pop and fade. If it just wants to get up at 63 and then fail 57 again, I wouldn't hate adding another contract, like I said, because if we get up into here, rotate back down, could be the third touch of this little wedge pattern for the breakdown. And then instead of adding so low, I could add a second on here, take that first one off at the add, and then be a little bit more comfortable on this. We're so close to that overnight high. Like I said, I anticipate this pushing up over that 63. It has room to 72 to dance around, and then I think a failure of that. So overnight high just got touched. S&P's is over their highs, That's my concern. And Nvidia is still kind of marching high side, giving us that bullish behavior, right? But we're at my key level. We're at an area where I'm interested in this short. Okay, so there's 63 trying to hold. 57 on this 30-minute. I would like it to close below 57 on a 30. Got 5 more minutes left in this candle. Just touched that overnight high. And I'm going to add through 57 if it does go here.
Order filled.
And I'm going to buy one at the bottom there where I was going to add. Because I think we can get to 39. I don't have enough to risk that much. So now I'm really tightening myself up a bit. But I do like it. I like it short still from that area based on all of our confluences earlier that I mentioned. Delta now acting heavy as well, which is nice. Top end of the value area right here. Point of control is at 52. If we can get to 52, we probably tighten up to overnight highs. Right, 52 is not that far off, but it gives us that little bit of is this a breaker bounce point type area. And if it gets over here, then you probably get stopped out. But I'm going to try and let it go. Try and let it make its move to the downside. I need NVIDIA to start helping us out here from this location where it could short because it is the pre-market like support breakdown area as well. I think it's where it broke down at 7-ish, 7:30. So a lot of confluence for that 7 o'clock hourly start to sell off area, right?
Stop fill.
Okay, I added to this one as well, so I don't forget about it. There's the push. I want to see this thing break through this. This is the third touch of that trend line. We did now clean up that overnight high. There's some confluence there, a little heavier tilted to the long side, so slight indecision. We never quite made it to the upper band of VWAP, but it doesn't always have to do that. That's not really, that's just another layer that I like. Come on, Delta. Help us out here. Give me a nice breakdown, break flush of this level. Like I said, 57, pretty key level here that you can tell for sure that 57 level is pretty important. This is that nice wick up to the overnight high, holding below 56. 2 more minutes till this 30-minute candle closes. If I can get this 30-minute candle to close red even, that would be beautiful. Down below 55. 55 would turn this candle red. There it goes, 55. So if 30-minute can close below here, then that gives us a little more confidence that the 57 level wants to hold. Down to 39. I forgot that that's the level. 39 is the level. That's the flush point. So there's a consistency rule in Top Step. So even if this does melt off for the rest of the day, I can only take $1,500 profit. I would love to see this thing try to push into this 39. I'll be able to get one off here at 39, hopefully. That'll secure us a couple $100 on this move, and then let the rest of it play out, hopefully, to hit us off on that $1,500 daily profit target for the combine. This is building up, building up, building up. Got a nice little wedge. Got a delta push to the downside now. Running into this support level 52, right? That's going to be either a break or a bounce. Right here, right now is the make or break time. 10:30 is a good hour, a good time for it to decide to just do something. So let's watch and see if do something is bounce or if it's break. I do like this better. That was more so the key area. So we are risking just to the high, overnight high, because of the way this price is acting currently. If we get ripped out, we get ripped out on this. But we have had a thesis, the reason behind it, everything. That 30-minute candle closed red, so we should start to see the rejection of that 57 level where we had the sellers come in over and over and over and over again. This is the time that the sellers come into here. So Apex has trailing drawdown intra-position. So if you're up $2,000, don't be afraid to start taking money off the table, because if it pulls back on you to your original stop, then you're screwed. You do have Delta still pushing down. We have that trend line here that's trying to break, looking to get through the volume node at 45. Once again, 45. 45 is the key. I'm going to now take this to even and see what happens. Let's see if we can get one off. If not, I'm at even. So it's a free trade for me based on the way I'm letting this thing go. I want this to continue to get heavy down into the VWAP. That's my thought process on this from 57. NVIDIA not helping us out. I have two contracts on. Do I take one off here or do I let it go down into that 39? I'm going to let it go. See what happens. Like I said, this is the combine. This is me working things out in real time for you. I'm at even on that ad, and I'm going to be up over the high on the first position. So I don't want to add risk, right, on certain things. That 45 held. So if that triggers, it's fine. I want to still see what happens. Do I want to go even on this, or do I want to let it do its thing? I want to let it do its thing. This is my last trade of the day anyway, so I'm going to let it do its thing. I'm going to let this trade play for myself. I don't see why that it should get back above 57.50. If it does get back above 57.50, then I can make a decision on how I see price action acting. But right now, there's no reason to pull my stop. So I'm going to talk it out loud while I'm working through this stuff, okay? I've been getting myself in trouble with trailing on certain moves. When I have this longer term hold idea, I got to learn to allow the move to happen a little bit better. So let's do this. The flush of 45 should give us 39, right? This one, I'm already up on this account, so I'm trying to kind of manage this one a little bit better. 2,300 on this. You can see S&P's failed that high. I want to see the S&P's continue to push down towards VWAP, which is going to help this push down towards VWAP, which will help our position out. But this is a very supportive area as well. I need a flush of this 45 to get this down into this area to get this one contract off. I do want it at 40 because I don't want to get, like before, I didn't get filled on my wick. I don't mind, missing out on a couple ticks to make sure I get filled on it if it's going to fill at the bottom end of a range and bounce. But S&P is getting heavy. You're starting to see the heaviness come in there. NVIDIA is selling from the top. So not following through on its long quite this second. So if Nvidia can crack, then we can start to get a bigger seller come in here. Come on down. Break through that low there. If we could get through 45, like I said, should be able to get filled on that first contract. And then from that first contract, we can see where we go if we're going to go to break even on the rest of it and let the last one run and see if we can hit off on our daily win profit target of 1,500 on the 50K combine. But we're a little ways away from that, right? Because we're down 560. This will put us closer to even. Obviously, if we just took our full position off, we'd be up a little bit on that. But I think the heavy still is reasonable here for the short. Come on. Got to break through the bottom of that previous 30-minute candle at 45.50, which is right here. If this cracks, then that gives you a bit of a heavier flush, I think. Like, it'll give you a more confirmed bias of shorts coming in, or at least getting short stopped out, right? Because that's that 30-minute candle. Usually if you get this close to the bottom of 30-minute candle and you whip it, you get something like that. You see how fast price moves through that level. Now you got to see, is price going to continue to move fast, or is that going to be a liquidity grab? And that's why I go to even there, because if it's going to be a liquidity and shoot up, I don't want to be in for a loss, right? So let's see if we can get one of these off. I'm cool with that. This should have flushed better. I'm going to do that right now because I don't trust that to not continue on if it's going to not go right now. The Delta got you a wick. Price gave you a wick. I want to see this wick break and hold. If we can break and hold through 45, 45 is that level. Right there's a high volume node at 45. Come on, now we broke 45. There's the good heaviness. This is the kind of trade that I'm trying to work on doing better with, and this is, trying to hold to at least get this first one off and not move it any further. But that's just me working on it, trying to get better in front of your face. Like, this is kind of how you got to do it too. Hopefully it helps you understand that no matter how bad things you feel like going, that you could always make that next good trade. You could always make that next good trade, work on your combines, work on everything, get yourself into a point where you feel like you're taking proper steps, and then eventually longer term you can make that big leap into, and it's just going to come one day, I feel like, that where you're just like there. Nvidia creeping up a little. This lack of follow through 45 is bothering me. I want this thing to go to 39, please. If you would, it would be nice. Really should be stop over this 30-minute candle at 55. Okay, there's the 55. That's that previous 30-minute the top end of this 30-minute candle. So if this stops being if this candle goes red to green already, I would be concerned as far as it going all the way back up.
Stop filled.
And there's the stop being filled on the trade of 8. So we got filled there, back to being up about 2,200 on that account. I want to flatten it all. Exit at market cancel. Exit all positions. Let's see what happens if we can get through 45. If that's a nice little grab there for some liquidity. The other account, I just tried to secure a little bit more. It had 4 contracts on as opposed to 2. And then if this, like I said, if this cancels out this 30-minute candle, then we really should be out, because that's like a liquidity grab down below. But I want to get through 45.50 and hold. There's this wick here. Get through this wick. Okay, bigger set buyers coming in here at 49. There we go. Bigger size, push it in. It will exit, but you'll lose the account, so don't do it. There's no daily drawdown limit. It's a max drawdown limit with Apex. So it would be your job to exit out before you get anywhere near there, because otherwise you'll lose the account and you'll have to do it over again. It's different than Top Step. Top Steps will be a daily loss limit, and you can not hit off on your max loss limit, and it'll knock you out, and then you'll be done with your daily loss, but not necessarily your entire account. I don't like the way this is acting. Fighting the urge to just bang out. Right up into the retest, now trying to push back down through. So we retested the breakdown, and now we're back to getting heavy. So let's see if we can get heavy through 45 this time, now that we've retested the actual good drawing that I did, not this crappy setup that I had going on here. So there's a breakdown, retest, now attempt to flush that low again. Holding for a flush. Let's see if it'll get us filled this time. Let's go. Come on, down. I have a buy order down here, but that's just kind of unreasonable. I don't think I'm allowed to get that much. So we'll do the calc. If this gets triggered and we take that one contract off there, I'm going to see how much more I could go to the $1,500 limit. The only reason it's 1,500 is because it's 50% of the daily your profit target, right? Because if I make $3,000 on this trade, I don't want to have to make another $3,000 to pass. I'm doing this strategically, right? You got to break 45.50 here. If this does not break, then I would be surprised. You see all this liquidity here. You would think that you'd want to at least tag off on 40. You see Delta making a higher low while price is trying to make lower lows. So that is concerning because there is a bit more aggressive buyer. But if this can crack the low of 45 and hold, then the Delta may catch up and get you filled, right? You see this big high volume node here at 45. Lots of executions happening here all the way down to 40 before you get to a low volume node. And then that should flush you down to 35. But I want to take one off and just secure a piece of it right there at 40 where the volume... The high volume ends. Come on. If you're in this short still, you're still okay. I would wait to see what happens here at this 45. We're down at 43. Should get filled at 40 on this. I'm front running that 39. There it is. We got one off. So now we have at least secured that. We're at 240. I can only make 1,500, so 1,700. This is still a fair target. Still okay to leave that down there at that low. I want to see what happens if it breaks 39. If we can break 39, you could probably get some selling into VWAP. If we get to VWAP, I'll pop my stop over the purple box. If we can get through to the bottom of the purple box, then we'll start to use VWAP as the stop. That's the trailing idea on this. Trying to let that 18,757 level to be where the big players are coming in to sell, right? That's what I tried to show here, that we were able to kind of capitalize on that move there. Hopefully you're able to see what I was looking at. I know Leezy took the short on it. still okay, still below 45 quarters. You are getting a little bit of a bounce here on the delta, so just mindful of that, right? We flushed into 39, but didn't quite, like I said, that's why I front ran that 40 level, because you can see that there's a big low volume area here. If it did get into here, you would expect it to rotate right to 35. And then if that 35 level could crack, you could see there's quite a bit of low volume here. If it wanted to rotate all the way to volume area low, that would be ideal. But kind of cautious on this now that we're here. The stop is over that 30-minute bar there. If that's going to recover this 30-minute, be a liquidity grab down here at 39 and pop us up over 57, then we didn't want to be involved anymore anyway. So the 30-minute candle, right, you can see it here. I want to show it to you there. I have my stop just above this 30-minute here at 55. Just because if this setup here at 57 to here, right, if it is similar to this or similar to this, sell it at 7, then we would actually be able to flush through here. So the thesis is try to get through 39 and rotate down into the 29s, 30s, and then maybe, hopefully, into this 687 and 660 area. Lazy F baby. Is that a previous day close? Is that what this level is? I think this 46 is the previous day close. Yeah, that's previous day close. So we're trying to hold above previous day close. That's another reason why that 45 is acting so strong. It's because that's yesterday's close. I was just wondering why that was there. Waiting for this thing to break. We still have one contract on. We took one off there. I want to see if 46 will break. That 45, 46 area right here, this bottom. Like I said, I have my stop over that 30-minute bar. If it's going to come back and go red to green after dipping so deep, I don't want to be involved over that. That's our break-even point anyway. So realistically, it just kind of keeps our trade free. If we can get through 39, that's my next line in the sand. Right? I said there's a low volume node. 39 gets us down to 30. And then VWAP kind of will come into play. And I mentioned if I can get from the top end of that purple zone down into VWAP, I'm going to go to the top of the purple zone as my stop. And then hopefully we can break through VWAP without much issue. If you can break through VWAP without issue because you start to get sellers just pouring in, then I'm going to run my stop to VWAP and then see where I could take it from there. Take this account red to green. The other ones I kind of just screwed myself on by coming in here tired, not having my coffee first. This is what happens when you break your routine. Normally I get up, I bring my son to school, I have my coffee, I get in front of the charts, I set my levels, and I'm good to go, ready to go for the day. Today, didn't get my son to school. My wife brought him in. I got up 8:15 and decided that I'm going to hop on the charts. Set my levels were just slightly adjusted. I saw a great opportunity. Did not execute with the speed and the precision that I should have, and I paid for it, right? I paid for that. NVIDIA looking to curl back down here, potentially. I don't like this wanting to break the 30-minute high. Got about 15 minutes left in this stream here today. Hopefully everybody was able to catch some money and execute on the levels that we talked about, properly executed and didn't use me as a signal service and chop yourself up. Certain areas that I talked through make a lot of sense. Absolutely. It's a big mental game. Absolutely. I mean, it's a constant learning. I don't think it'll ever go away. realistically, when it comes to trading, it's always like it's just going to be a part of it. So if you can just manage it, recognize when things are coming in, when things are coming out. Realistically, if I wasn't streaming, I wouldn't have traded on the open today. Probably, I would have probably been in bed. But that's just kind of how the day goes. I stream. I'm trying to provide value on a day-to-day basis. I have a responsibility to you guys to come out here, provide the value that I can provide on a day-to-day basis, and eventually, long term, that consistency will pay off for me as well. But sometimes it does get me in a little bit of do stuff just to do it instead of for reasoning. So allowing myself to just chill here, let this thing do what it's going to do. I don't like that liquidity sweep kind of action below that 45 level, as it seems like it wants to go back the other direction. So this 30-minute candle swept that low of the previous 30-minute candle and now is creeping back up, although we're still safe. We got 10 minutes left in this candle. I would love to see it close below 45, that giving us that added confluence of, not looking to get out of it yet. I basically bottom ticked that first out. There was a reason behind it. It's the top end of the volume area where there's a higher volume node, right? And then below here, there's less volume. So usually that's where price will stop. But if it's going to want to continue to find deeper liquidity, it'll flush through those low volume nodes pretty quickly. So right now we're just kind of sitting on top of that low volume area. You can see it right here. This is what I'm talking about, right in this area. I'll put price there. If I could put price right on it, you can see ticked right onto that volume area. Then there's the lower depths of volume, and then you got to tick back up here at 34, down at the 30, right? So this is where price wants to be. Point of control is here. Price wants to be where all of the executions are. But once it dries some of this up, you get the thought of which way do I need to go to get more buyers, basically is what they're thinking. Is it down or is it up? I think if they want to pull it back to VWAP, there's some more volume down here between 21 and 700. So that's the sweep this right down into that 21. That's why I think that would happen quicker than what we've been grinding through this entire time, right? So you should be able to get a heavier push if it breaks this 40, breaks that wick. You got that low volume node. If you take that into account, if that happens right now, I would love for you to see it, because you can see that there's no volume here for it to execute. I'm going to throw the price right on top of the volume so you can see. So you just, as you sweep through it, there's not enough volume here. It's not going to hold it up. What's going to hold this? If it doesn't get through it, see how fast it gets through that low volume area, right? There's nothing here to hold this up. It should get right down into the VWAP area. There is volume right here, and you can see that's why it paused, right? It paused at the volume area. It's trying to get some more volume. Is this going to be a liquidity sweep, or is it going to be a true breakdown? We don't know. But right now, did it get enough? Did it get enough orders at this volume area? It's not that high volume, so potentially it did. It looks like it wanted to grab that volume at that node there at 35. Can it get through it again? If it does it again, watch for it to get heavy. But see where it's stopping right there at 40, where the volume dissipated. Can you, hopefully, if you're seeing that, let me know. I'm glad you caught that. That's excellent. If you can crack it again, I think you do get that flush to VWAP, but I don't know if it's gonna, because that went right to the value area, the volume nodes, kind of flushed it into it. It was really fast move, fast trail type action. That's what I look for. Didn't get to VWAP, but S&Ps did. So I'm gonna get above there. I'm gonna secure a little bit more just to kind of keep it going. But you see this. I want to see this get through this volume node, but you can see we're pushing right back up into the point of control. This was a beautiful liquidity flush through that volume. I don't know what to call it. Lull. It's like a volume suck vacuum, a volume vacuum, we'll call it. 45 still the higher volume area where there's been a lot of executions. That's yesterday's close. Are we going to keep below yesterday's close or not? 5 more minutes left in this stream pretty much. I do want to see this get all the way to VWAP. So if we crack 40 again, I think the next flush of this cleans up this candle. That's just the volume profile that I use for the nodes, absolutely. Because all it does is just aggregate the amount of executions at each area, right? If you zoom all the way in, this is how many executions are happening at that area. It doesn't tell you buys or sells. It just tells you that a trade was executed because technically it's both, right? Buy and sell because it's a trade, right? So this is how many executions have happened at each price level. Do I need the numbers? I don't. I can just see the volume and how much it's been at each area. Does it help if there's like a zero volume area? Absolutely, it helps. It could tell you where there's going to be a turnaround on it or not. But you can see it's halved, right? From 1,000 down to 500. That's a bit of the volume, right? So just something to note for yourself. If I wasn't paying attention to this, may have moved my stop into there and been stopped out already, but 45 acting as resistance now. It was support, 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 support. If we can get down through this level, if that's not just going to be a liquidity grab pop, then we'll still be in. I'm going to stay on the stream until I'm out of this trade, which may be soon. The VWAP bounce on S&Ps is what is holding me up on it. I wanted to see it get down to 30 even. It got to 32. So pretty close to pretty much exactly where I wanted to see it get to. Kind of hard not to secure at least a little piece of this now that we're getting back up over 46. But I'm going to leave the stop over this area because if it does get it back above here, probably wicks this out anyway. So I'll take my whatever, $75. It's not necessarily about the dollar amount on this. It's about the execution and trying to trail it appropriately based on the structure in this current trade condition, right? So we're looking, Delta creeped back up as well. So there were some aggressive buyers here. This to me tells me that long wants to come in. So I'm hopefully wrong, and hopefully I'm right in my trade, and this acts as overhead resistance, gets back down through 35. Russell's still pushing downside, S&P's still pushing downside, so we should still be safe. I wanted this 30-minute to close below 45, but we liquidity grabbed 45. I want to close below 45. We got 3 minutes-ish left in this candle, so the 30-minute candle, if we just trail 30 minute by 30 minute, potentially could be okay. Fuck it. We'll just go. We'll go 30-minute candle by 30-minute candle and see if we can hold this a little longer. Mm, 53, 54. That's good. That's good right there. So if this can hold for the next 2.5 minutes. 1 minute now, or 2 minutes now. These candles usually end up giving us buys, but I feel like we're just still heavy enough to... We have 1 minute left in this 30-minute candle. If we could hold below this area here, still bearish on my thought process. If we stay anywhere in here, it's still a 30-minute candle that is comfortably red. But that was a very whippy downside move. 1 minute left in the stream, 1 minute left in the 30-minute candle, 1 minute left in the hourly. So usually you'll get a little bit of a move on the hourly close. Most of the time, my rules are to not enter a new trade within 5 minutes of an hourly close because I want to see some of that action kind of play out before I enter. But if I'm in a trade, I'm still managing it. I'm going to allow it to do what it's doing. And then also, I'll kind of mitigate a little bit depending on where we're at with the price action. But currently, price action seems to be confirming what I want it to do. So I want to continue to hold at a hold below 45 here. So we're right at that area where the 30-minute candle held just at the low of the previous 30. So we'll see if we can get this to flush the 40 level again. If we get the VWAP, I'm going to go top of the purple. Like I said, normally I'm off at 11. I'm just going to let this trade do its thing until I get off. I'm going to get off after the trade's all finished and complete. If I keep going. So my volume profile is on Quant Tower. A lot of my indicator stuff that I use, my cumulative delta, my volume profile, I use my Quant Tower. This is my personal brokerage, so I pay for data monthly. I have like much better trust in the data that I'm getting out of it, more so than, an execution platform like TopStepX. I use this. TopStepX doesn't have cumulative delta, doesn't have a lot of things that I really would prefer to use. So right now I use Quant Tower. I like it. Realistically, I would use this, but the TopStepX is just too convenient for what they have going on. So looks like it's grabbing this. Delta is pushing downside. Volume profile settings for me on this, it's just a right profile. Excuse me. Hold on a second. Usually I use the default settings. It's just for the day. So it's from open till, it's basically the same as the VWAP. So VWAP is from 1700 yesterday till now. Volume profile, same deal from 1700 yesterday till right now. I used the whole session today. Some volume profiles, you can set them up so it's just for the session from 8:30 till, close. However, it's just kind of, you got to just let it do its thing. I like to use, Tradevate has great indicators. It has cumulative delta. It has a volume profile. You could set it up. You could set it up either if you want to be a little even more precise, set it up for just the New York session. That's really a good way to go about it for the volume profile because it'll give you more of what's going on at the moment. I like having it from the previous day as well, like the overnight session, because I use the overnight levels. And if I have overnight levels plus overnight volume, it helps out some of my trade ideas. Russell just crept into the opening range high. 47. Do we flush 40 or not? Still kind of want this to get heavier. We're right at where I got my first out. So if we flush it this time, then we're going to probably get our stop down into that area. Could look to secure it over this because the top end of that 30-minute candle is 47. So we shouldn't, if it's going to stay bearish, we shouldn't want to see this 30-minute candle go green. And it'll go green over 40. Well, technically it's green, but it'll cancel out and be a bottoming tail over 47. So potentially looking to see if this is going to be the final push to the downside before a nice grab, because we did push into 39 and 39 acted as support one more time, but we need 39 to break. So yeah, I'd say using Quant Tower or use something that you are comfortable with the indicators that you use. I like the volume profile. I like the VWAP on Quant Tower. I like having the bands because it does help me realize the standard deviation out. Price is all mathematics and all that. So volume profile, cumulative delta, still acting heavy, still trying to make lows while price is trying to creep up. I mean, there was a little bit of a pop here, but I think we could, we're probably going to get stopped on this over 50. There's the stop run, potentially. Going to probably end the day down slightly on this account, which is fine after being down 5 to bring it back to close to even, down 100 or so. If we would have just took it off down here, we're green, but I'm not looking to do that. I'm trying to see what I could do as far as maximizing this position. S&P is still heavier. NVIDIA crept up a little. This is interesting to me that it's holding that. That's nice. Point of control here. If we can get through this, maybe our stop was at a perfect spot. Sometimes you miss getting entered by a tick, and sometimes you miss getting stopped out by a tick, which is a beautiful thing here. As I mentioned, if we can crack and hold below 40, I'm going to move my stop to here, but I think, like I said, there seems to be some buyers stepping into this right now. The Delta was trying to creep up, and now you're getting an aggressive seller here as well. So there's a battle going on here right around this point of control of 49. Watching the cumulative Delta, not quite pop, but there it is. There's the push. And you should be stopped out. Damn. Good stop location. Really, really nice stop location. Oh, well, if I do get stopped out here, that's the end of the stream. If I don't, still the end of the stream because I've got to run. There it goes. Ended up securing decent move on that. We took off 435 on that trade. So it's either take off the whole thing down here or take off a piece and see if we can get that full runner. I would have liked to have been paying attention a little bit on this wick. Once again, kind of not blaming streams, but I kind of explain things too much while I'm watching for things to happen on my end. So it is what it is. It's all good. Could look to see if it'll flush through that area again after getting ticked out. But overall, I am done for the day. I'm going to go out and do my thing, work on some stuff. Leezy, I appreciate your communication in here. Everybody who has been in the room day in and day out, we are going to get ourselves back to fully funded, multiple funded accounts. And once we're back into that, we're going to start really leveraging these fundeds and showing you how you can pull money out of these markets. Levels are good. Executions for me just kind of poor, right? We called this opening range break. Look at what you get out of that. So hopefully you caught some of that move as well. Leezy, everybody, I appreciate you. Tomorrow morning, 8:30 Central, we'll be here. Expect some movement tomorrow. NVIDIA earnings, post-market. And then Thursday and Friday, we got some data points. So just be aware of those. Could get some better movement and some follow-through on some of these moves. So until tomorrow, I'll talk to you later. Peace out.